As Russia's summer offensive unfolds, Ukrainian cities are preparing for a decisive battle. The epicenters of Russia's summer campaign are likely to be Konstantinovka and Pokrovsk in the Donetsk region, The Economist reports, citing Ukrainian intelligence. It is also noted that the situation is alarming in the Sumy region, where 50,000 Russian troops are concentrated and slowly advancing towards the regional center. It is noted that for the first time since the beginning of a full-scale war, the Russian Federation is achieving almost the same success in the north as in Donbas, and this is partly due to weak fortifications that are not designed for drone attacks. Ukrainian military assume that after creating a buffer zone in the Sumy region, Russia will again focus on Donbas and the Zaporizhia direction, continuing the exhausting war. At the same time, the article says the front has not undergone any strategic changes in Russia's favor in 3 years. Ukrainian sources say that Russian officers are calling the current offensive the final push to break Ukraine's will. According to the commander of the elite Typhoon UAV unit, Mikhail Kmetyuk, Russia allows itself such operations only because it does not spare its soldiers. 8 out of 10 Russian occupiers die, but the waves of mobilized soldiers do not end because the Russian Federation recruits 10 to 15,000 people per month, more than Ukraine. At the same time, Russia encourages people to go to war financially, while Ukraine relies on forced mobilization. Meanwhile, The Economist writes, there is doubt that the offensive will be successful for Russia, saying that due to the specific nature of Russians fighting in small groups, their advance is slow and very costly. Their last major offensive ended in May 2022. They have not been able to take Konstantinovka for over 3 years. What kind of strategy are we even talking about? Said Special Forces soldier and People's Deputy Roman Kostenko. 3 years and 4 months after the start of the full-scale war, Ukraine still believes it can hold the front. But, as the newspaper writes, the most likely outcome of the Russian offensive will be neither victory nor defeat for Russian troops, but only an opportunity for Russian dictator Vladimir Putin to show the change on the map as a success and justification for continuing the war. His fate to remain in power depends on it. The Economist suggests that once the summer offensive runs its course, a window for diplomacy may open, but adds this is not guaranteed. The problem with Russians is that they know how to tolerate losses. Our losses are smaller, but we feel them much more strongly, said Dmitry Kirdyapkin, the chief of police in Konstantinovka.
Israeli forces seized a Gaza-bound aid boat and detained Greta Thunberg and other activists who were on board early Monday, enforcing a long-standing blockade of the Palestinian territory that has been tightened during the war with Hamas. According to Associated Press, the activists had set out to protest Israel's ongoing military campaign in the Gaza Strip, which is among the deadliest and most destructive since World War II, and its restrictions on the entry of humanitarian aid, both of which have put the territory of some 2 million Palestinians at risk of famine. The Freedom Flotilla Coalition, which had organized the voyage, said the activists were kidnapped by Israeli forces while trying to deliver desperately needed aid to the territory. The ship was unlawfully boarded, its unarmed civilian crew abducted, and its life-saving cargo including baby formula, food and medical supplies confiscated, it said in a statement. It said the ship was seized in international waters some 200 kilometers from Gaza. Israel's foreign ministry portrayed the voyage as a public relations stunt, saying in a post on X that the selfie yacht of the celebrities is safely making its way to the shores of Israel. It said the activists would return to their home countries and the aid would be sent to Gaza through established channels. It circulated footage of what appeared to be Israeli military personnel handing out sandwiches and water to the activists, who were wearing orange life vests. Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani, an Israeli military spokesperson, said the ship was still en route to Israel around midday Monday. It was expected to dock at the port of Ashdod. Thunberg, a climate campaigner, was among 12 activists aboard the Madeleine, which set sail from Sicily a week ago. Along the way, it had stopped on Thursday to rescue 4 migrants who had jumped overboard to avoid being detained by the Libyan Coast Guard. "I urge all my friends, family and comrades to put pressure on the Swedish government to release me and the others as soon as possible," Thunberg said in a pre-recorded message released after the ship was halted. Rima Hassan, a French member of the European Parliament who is of Palestinian descent, was also among the volunteers on board. She has been barred from entering Israel because of her opposition to Israeli policies toward the Palestinians. She was among 6 French citizens aboard the boat. French President Emmanuel Macron asked Israel to allow them to return to France as soon as possible, his office said in a statement. Adala, a rights group in Israel that said it was representing the activists, said Israel had no legal authority to take over the ship because it was in international waters and because it was headed not to Israel but to the territorial waters of the state of Palestine. The arrest of the unarmed activists, who operated in a civilian manner to provide humanitarian aid, amounts to a serious breach of international law, Adala said in a statement.
You must be very protective for us.
Guys, oh my God!
Guys, take over! These people are here, we need the Mobilisez-vous! Mobilisez-vous! Go to the places! Teach the phone! Teach the phone! Teach the phone! Yes. Phones in the water, please! Assume position, please, everyone. To the water. To the water. Where? My computer. I have dropped the computer. The computer. Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Yes, yes. Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Everyone.
Well, we lost contact with our colleagues on the Madeleine over 12 hours ago at approximately 2 a.m. Italy time. And since then, we have had no updates. Before we lost contact, we know that they were being surrounded and assaulted. We know they had 2 drones above them. We know that they were sprayed with some kind of chemical. We don't know what it is. And we saw the final footage of them being surrounded and the boat, the Madeleine, being rammed. Then communication was cut off. We assume at that moment Israeli commandos forcefully took over the Madeleine. We have not been allowed any communication with them since. We have attorneys on the ground who are waiting and demanding to see them. But as of latest update from our attorneys, they don't appear to have arrived in the port of Ashdod, where the Israeli authorities are saying that they are taking them.
2, 3, 2, 4, 5, 7.